Hi, I'm back. It's late afternoon now. It's almost 4 o'clock. But let's try to finish this chapter 4. All right. Everything is going to be all right, Abigail reassured her. In a confident voice she didn't feel at the moment. We just need to trust God. He knows what he is doing. We can't give up. God has a plan, and we are going to follow it. I don't know why this happened to us, but there are many other people that probably had worse happen to them. They're probably suffering with injuries as well as losing their homes. Let us be thankful that we are still in one piece. I thank God that Daddy reinforced the basement with concrete that last year before they died, or we would not be here right now. Let's just pray right now for our neighbors and all the people in town. I hope everyone is safe there. God has spared our lives, and we just have to trust him. I know it's hard, but we just have to believe everything is going to be all right, and that God has a reason for all of this. Abby smiled at her sister, and Rose saw the faith in that smile on her lovely face, and Rose's heart was strengthened. Just then, Joshua came in and set the tea in a pretty flowered pot on the coffee table. He also had cookies, what looked like homemade bread with butter, and some slices of roasted beef and ham. Please, girls, please have something to eat. Joshua smiled in reassurance at them. Rose immediately picked up a cookie and started to munch on it. She had not realized how hungry she was until she saw the cookies. They were so surprisingly good and seemed to be homemade. They are my mother's very special secret recipe. I consider myself an amateur chef, Joshua said to her, smiling, as if reading her thoughts. She smiled to herself about this unabashed young man, not the least bit threatened in his manhood about baking cookies. She felt her heart warm towards him. She was beginning to like him very much. She took the tea and took a sip from it, and it instantly warmed her body. She had been so chilled, but now with the throw on her and the tea, she was beginning to feel better. Abigail and Joshua talked while Abigail and Rose warmed themselves. The warmth of the fire that Joshua had started was making Rose sleepy. She put her head on a pillow and was instantly asleep. Have you heard about the town where it survived the storm? Abigail asked again. Yes, I do have the radio on in the kitchen, and it said that the town survived the tornado. Well, actually, the several tornadoes that touched down. They believe that there was a swarm of tornadoes that hit our area and state, as well as in other states. They said there was no warning, that they seemed to come out of nowhere. But the hospital, churches, businesses, everything is still intact. But they are going house to house and farm to farm to make sure everyone is all right. I am sure they will be here soon to get me when they've cleared the road and come to check on my place. I will go with them so I can minister to those that need ministering to and to help with any rescue that's needed. I want to help, Abigail said emphatically. I'm a nurse. You said they think they might be coming for you. I'd like to go and help too. They're going to need help in the hospital and in those shelters. They probably have set up at the schools and other places. You and I could go and see what we can do. Rose awoke with a start at these words, more than a little frightened. I don't want to stay here alone. Rose, you rest for a while, said Joshua. You really look worn out. You've had quite a shock. If we need you to cook in the kitchens at the shelters, I'll come and get you. But for right now, you rest. Besides, we don't know when they'll be able to pick us up. Please don't worry about it. Everything's going to be all right. Rose sighed and leaned against the soft pillow on the sofa. Abigail, Joshua said, you and Rose can have the 2 guest bedrooms. The beds are nice and comfortable. And if you need some more blankets, there are some in the linen closet in the hallway. You both can get some much needed rest. I'm all right for the time being. I'm fine. I just need to close my eyes a little, Rose answered, as she snuggled deeper into the sofa. The fire was so nice, and she didn't want to move. Abigail and Joshua made their way back into the kitchen. I'm worried about how Rose is feeling, Abigail whispered to Joshua. She's not taking this well at all. She's really upset about losing the house and all our belongings. It will be all right, Joshua told her. She's just in shock right now, and will start to feel better soon. We'll just keep lifting her up in prayer, and everything will be all right. Joshua grabbed Abigail's soft hands, and they bowed their heads and said a quick prayer of thanksgiving for being alive and for Rose. Just then they heard commotion outside. Joshua ran to the window and saw a truck with men in it. I'll go talk with them. You stay here, Joshua commanded, and then turned and smiled at Abigail to make sure she wasn't offended by his tone of voice. Abigail smiled back in reassurance, and Joshua's face glowed with that smile as he turned to go out the door. Joshua made his way outside, and she could see from the window that he was talking to several men in the truck. He then came back into the house. They need my help right now. I'll come back later. You just stay here with Rose until I see what's happening in town. So don't fret. The landlines and cell towers are down in some areas, and the electricity. I'll have my cell phone in my pocket, and if I can get any reception, I will call you. Why don't you just give me your cell number so I can reach you? But if I can't, don't worry. I'll be back as soon as I can and tell you what happened. Meanwhile, just make yourself at home and cook some dinner for you and Rose on the gas stove. There's matches to light it beside the stove. There's plenty of food in the fridge and freezer, and I have plenty of logs for the fire in the screened-in porch through the kitchen door. I will be back soon, he said, as he grabbed the piece of paper with her number from her and shoved it into his jean pocket. And then he was gone. The truck backed up and went down the road to town. Abigail gave a silent prayer for his and the other men's safety and went back to check on Rose. Well, that's the end of chapter 4. So we see that a lot has happened. Rose isn't taking it very well, and Abigail she's just being strong for her sister, her older sister. When you get older, things can really shock you a lot. So she's just trying to be a comfort to her. And isn't Joshua so nice? I based him on my son. I really did. My son has those really kind eyes, and he's a good guy. So anyway, I'm going to end it here. We'll start chapter 5 pretty soon. But if you have any questions or any comments, you can go ahead and just write a comment to me. I will answer it. And you have a good night, okay? It's Tuesday. And we're supposed to have some storms tonight. Oh my. But I always pray. First of all, I pray for Israel. I pray for God to take care of Israel. It says in Psalm 121, he who watches over Israel neither slumbers nor sleeps. So I pray for Israel, and then I pray for us here where we're at, so that the storms, the tornadoes, the damaging winds and hailstorms, that nothing does any damage. And this is the secret to my praying. So you might take that down and take it to heart. Pray for Israel. Pray for God's chosen land and his chosen people. We have been grafted in, thank God. And, just pray first for them, and then pray for wherever you're at if you've got storms going on. I know there's some flooding in the Northeast. Serious flooding in Vermont. And my prayers are with you. And I just pray that everyone will be all right. All right, dears. Let me know if you want me to pray for anything that you need prayer for. I'll be glad to. All right. Talk to you again.